Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, as you see, we got a very, very full panel as we go back into the day of 1995, and you were still alive and watching TV for some reason. As we talk about The Usual Suspects, which came out in 1995, and some people didn't know about the Chippendales, but that'll be a whole other video. But we got Jamani, and we got Stephanie, and we got Stacy, and we got Kim, and we got Chris, and we've gathered our usual suspects. What is in a name? As we got Kevin Spacey and Bryan Singer before the sexual assault allegations. But let's get to it. Let's go with Stacy, Miss Horn Lady, if you will.
Like my bangs.
I love your bangs. Yeah.
Totally thought you were talking about something else, David. Okay, thanks. All right.
I was like. Oh no, okay, no. Stacy, please. What did you think of said movie?
I was today years old when I realized I have never watched this movie.
Wow. Okay.
That was
I've never
Chris
seen
too.
it. I thought I did. I've heard about it so much that I just assumed that I had already watched it. I've never seen it.
Oh wow.
It was good though. It took away from the surprise at the end. Because I knew how it was going to end. So I was
okay.
Oh, I was like, nah, you watched the movie, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, that was a great movie. I enjoyed it. Very 90s.
Very 90s, yes.
Very.
Yes, very 90s. Very 90s. You got fax machines, you got cigarettes. I was like,
the smoking was killing me.
I was like, you would never see that. That'd be a whole warning label now. But that being said, Stephanie, what did you think?
Okay, so this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I loved this movie from the first time I saw this movie. And I don't think it was 95. It could have been 96. It doesn't matter. I was working in a video store. I brought this movie home to what? Yeah, I worked in a video store. I brought this movie home to watch one evening, and I was pretty much engrossed as soon as I saw it. I actually thought, I didn't know it was a big blockbuster release when I snatched it. I read the back, the synopsis looked good, and I thought it was kind of a B kind of film when I first saw it. You know what I mean?
I think it became a cult hit later. It wasn't like coming next summer.
No. It was just it had good a couple of really good actors, and then the rest of them decent actors, right? It's like, so when you look at the cast of characters, you're like, okay. And you read the synopsis, you think it's just going to be another bad guy heist movie or something like that when you're starting to watch it. Pretty much you're into the second scene when you meet Verbal Kent as he's giving his testimony. And the way they had the best thing about this movie, and this scene will tell you everything about the movie. They set Verbal up in a dark room with a spotlight on him, surrounded by people you can't see there in shadow, probably some cigarette smoke going up, and he's giving his testimony. None of that, first of all, none of it made any sense, even in 1995, like, who has you in a dark room with the spotlight on you? It's very old school, 1950s type of way you treat a suspect. But you're intrigued at that point because you're like, how did we get from destruction, mayhem, and foolishness on this boat to this guy, right? And then they used the thing about this movie that was so smart that grabbed everybody is that they used movie making tricks and tropes to trick your attention towards who you think is the bad guy, who's really the bad guy, who you have sympathy for, who actually is a bad guy, right? Or they're all bad guys, really. But there's no good bad guys here. But you're trained as a movie watcher to look for a good guy and a bad guy, right?
Someone to root for. Yes.
Yeah, someone to root for. But you've got this cast of characters that are all bad, but that's okay. We had The Godfather before; they were all bad. We still rooted for someone, right? So they use all these movie tricks, and it had to. I mean, the cinematography tricks as well as the storytelling tricks. So that's kind of what gets you and takes you throughout the whole movie. I won't give you a synopsis. Most people have already seen it, but if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. The other thing about this movie, I will say, very little. Nothing carries this movie but the acting and the story. There's a couple of action scenes, right? You can name them off. First heist in New York, second heist in LA, final heist on the boat, right? That's all the action you get. The most amount of special effects they had was the gun shooting effects, right? The rest of this movie is carried by the strength of all of these actors in their roles and the story that's told. And it's a really well-written story. So that in and of itself was why it's like one of my favorite of all times. Nothing carries this but the acting, right? The acting, the facial expressions, the soundtrack, the sound. What do you call it?
No, the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack
gave a lot more drama and suspense to certain scenes and like horror to certain scenes.
Yes.
It made it a lot more dramatized, very bland situations without
absolutely. So when I first saw it, I suspected at the very beginning that Verbal Kint was the bad guy. So I spent from the first time I saw it, I spent the whole movie trying to figure it out. Like, wait a minute, when does it happen, right? So I was still kind of drawn in and intrigued the whole time, even though I didn't know how it was going to end, but I thought I knew who the bad guy was, right? And you get drawn into his telling of this story because you realize, even though they're jumping time, I think they go back 2 weeks, maybe 3, and then they bring you back up to how we get to this moment here, after the destruction and mayhem. You're really only getting the story from one person's point of view the whole time.
Yeah.
You're getting one story and that's it. There's only one person left alive. You're getting that person's version of the events, and that is supposed to be the truth. It's awesome.
It is. And a wonderful imagination he had. As he artistically told his great story.
A friend of mine in college watched this. We watched this movie several times, right? And he says, and I don't think I ever noticed it, but he says when they escort I'm looking at the picture behind you, David, when they escort Verbal into the captain's office, the messy office, supposedly, according to my friend at the time, he gets a little smile and smirks as he looks around the room.
He did.
When he says tell me a story.
He said, tell me the story, right? And he makes him, he's such a good con, yeah. And he looks around the room when he walks in, he's about to, and he smirks because he's like, sure, I'll tell me. He says, convince me. And convince me. Okay.
He got him to convince himself, really, because in the end, it was the cop that came up with the conclusion.
Because he knew what he wanted. He knew what he wanted to hear. He knew what he wanted. He actually liked Keaton. He killed him, but he liked him, And he really didn't like David Kuyan, the cop. So
he flipped it. It was masterfully told. Let's go to Chris. What did you think of The Usual Suspects?
Well, I am 3 days old from knowing that I didn't see this movie myself. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Natural Born Killers. For some reason, I thought Usual Suspects had Woody Harrelson and Tommy Lee Jones, and I realized, oh shit, that's a completely different movie.
It's a whole different movie.
I was like, looking like Benicio del Toro, and I was like, oh wait, I did not see this. I did not see this at all.
So coming in with a fresh mind, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought I saw it. I don't know. I don't know how I missed this one, but no, I definitely enjoyed it. Kevin Spacey, I think, is one of the best actors of all time, in my opinion, as well as Benicio del Toro. Especially when I read up afterwards with Benicio del Toro stuff, because I was confused because, man, like I know he's from Puerto Rico, but then I was like, he's done stuff even before this. Like I know him from both, like James Bond. He was in James Bond as like one of the henchmen in License to Kill, and then he was also on the Pee Wee Herman Big Top, right? So I was like, I thought maybe it was a movie, but then when I looked up and I saw that, and this kind of showed how great of an actor he was. He saw in the script that his character was meaningless. Finster was meaningless, and his only purpose was to die and to show Kaiser Sose's power, right? So he's like, yo, my character's meaningless. So so he basically created this mumbling character to make him rememberable. And I was like, yo, only an A-list, even early 90s, like for someone who's like in the very early of his career, I would say, because this was his breakout movie for obvious reasons. But for him to even be cognizant of something like that and making that choice, especially like because I did theater back in the day too, and so seeing something like that, I was like, oh, and hearing that, I was like, oh, that's amazing. I was like, that is amazing that he was able to do that, and to the point that Kevin Pollak, when he was really asking him like, what did you say? That was not scripted. That was like literally, he was like, what'd you say? What'd you say? He's like, yeah, what's the truck? What's the truck? I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's what's up. So yeah, so no, it was great kind of seeing this. It was even I guess it was so funny to see Giancarlo Esposito play a role like this, because I'm so used to the later half of his career of his performances being like Gustavo and his characters, and like in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting like all the Spike Lee movies that he did before, and when he did play like
when he was young as fuck,
like black actors, like like black. From like Malcolm X to Mo Better Blues and stuff like that, and then like
Godfather,
and I'm like, oh yeah, School Days, everything. I'm like, oh snap! I was like, I forgot. I was like, wait a minute, why are you talking like this? And I was like, oh shit, that was just what he did in the early on in his career before he was like, nah, screw that. I'm redefine myself later on. So it was kind of cool to see that again, especially seeing him trying to smoke a cigarette in a damn hospital. I was like, all right, that's interesting. As good as it was, there was times that I don't know. At times I was just like, okay, the whole Kaiser Sose thing, them saying that every single time, it was just, I wish I had a counter every time they said it. Like, I was just like, okay, this guy is so elusive. Like, it's just like, I felt like they were kind of running it to the ground so often. And it just, the weight wasn't there for me. You know what I mean? They, even though they tried to do the whole, all I could think of was Desperado, Antonio Banderas, when they did the whole thing with the flames behind this Turkish man, this fictional version of like after he kills his family or whatever. It's just, I don't know. To me, his scariness of everyone being like, guys are so safe, it wasn't there. I don't think it was developed enough for me to like care as much. However, I did obviously love the twist at the very end. I don't know. I still have a lot of questions in the sense like, okay, I guess I guess no cop knew that he really wasn't really a cripple or whatnot. I don't know. Whatever.
Nope, he carried that personality all the way through to the end.
But it's just like if you know he was a criminal, like if you know you had a rap sheet, you know all about him. You see what I'm saying? It just seemed very convenient.
Yeah, he had set that personality that he had set that personality up for years, which is why when they first arrest everybody, Keaton says, "Wait a minute, I've met you a couple times over the years." He's according to the way he tells the story.
Yeah, all right.
For years, he had established this personality.
Let's remember all that, like you said, is based on
all that. Yes, exactly. And he's telling the story, and there's
the only
no
one
way
left alive to say any of this shit.
Yeah, there's no way to
like,
fact
who
check
the fuck
this,
are you? Right? So if it even happened, and so the question,
oh no, you're fine. No, it's just okay, sure, I guess.
Reality.
That's one hell of a thing. I mean,
we can be real. Reality kills this movie. Like it would have took 5 minutes to just verify a couple of his facts and be like, "You're lying." So why are we going through this? Like,
like no one ever seen him trip. Because I'm sorry, I don't care how good of an actor you are. Like something startled you all of a sudden. Like you see what I'm saying? Like
you're gonna fall.
People who inspect insurance frauds for a living, they will see shit like this. I'm sorry. Well, I don't care how many years you've been developing this. I don't care how great of a Kaiser Sose of a man you are. Like, you know,
remember, none of it gets fact checked because we only get one version of the story.
Yeah, he only has 2 hours before he's released.
Yeah,
right.
it's just,
He
and
doesn't
then my
even
thing
call
is,
back to New York to where they supposedly were originally arrested in the movie and check anything. He just listens to the story.
And Stephanie, to your point, if the fact that he's been doing this for years with his feet, I'm sorry, but if you do that real life to your feet and to keep up the act, like time and time again, your leg really is going to get hurt. I'm not like the whole, like you do that, your eyes gonna get stuck doing that like that. Nothing like that.
No.
I mean, like
I agree.
your leg's gonna get hurt in the sense of like he was able to walk normal. So I was just like,
I 100%.
I don't understand why you're trying to put like reality into a movie. It's a movie.
I'm just doing what I'm just doing. I'm just saying
the whole thing is about it's an illusion, right?
No, I understand. I'm just saying. No. I just said those are small. I just said small nitpicks. I said it was overall a good film. But I'm sorry, this movie, I don't care how great of a movie is. It does not be absolved from any criticism. No. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
No, I'm not saying that it doesn't.
No, it's great. It's great. It's a great movie.
I'm not saying it doesn't get criticism. I'm just saying.
It's a great film. But there's there's moments I was like, okay, really? You know what I mean? But overall, I thought.
Wait. So what was a moment that you said, okay, really? I'm just curious. Pick a moment where you were like, okay, you guys lost me.
The host, like you lost me, like the moment. No, it's just little small moments, like certain things that was said, even with the story. I don't know. Like I saw Clint, what's Burns' name in the movie? The cop, Dean Keaton. Dean Keaton, yeah. It just, there's certain moments I thought it was kind of convenient, and then at times I was like, okay, so I am supposed to think it's Spacey, and then they were like, all right, but they kept pushing the whole Dean thing so much that I was just like, y'all pushing it way too hard. It just seemed like it's not, like, you know what I mean?
Remember,
I don't know.
He's pushing it because that's what the cop wanted to hear.
Right, but they did this for a movie, is my point. But I'm saying, like, so they also want the viewer to think, you know what I mean? But so there was moments where I was just like, all right, this is great, and I was like, sorry, roll my eyes at this, but this is great, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I overall like the movie. I mean, so I thought the movie was really great. I thought the acting was great. I usually don't like anything with Stephen Baldwin, really.
Really?
But Stephen Baldwin was all right. It's great to see Kevin Pollak play a role where he's not playing a parent for once. I mean, I guess it was early in the 90s. So that's so I was like, oh, he's a bad guy, and I did like the whole throwback to what the cop was saying how can you catch the real criminal is the one who sleeps well at night. And sure enough, you saw Pollak sleeping on that cot in the prison. So I was like, oh shit, I see what they did. I see. Because obviously, when they do that, like, obviously, that's coming back. So I'm like, oh, I wonder, and I was like, oh, there it is. So but yeah, overall, I really did enjoy the movie. I thought the movie was really good. So, and it just showed like the great acting prowess of pretty much everyone. For me, not like Kevin Spacey and Benicio del Toro, especially, even though Benicio del Toro didn't get that much screen time.
He did.
That was a great choice that he did. A great choice that he looked at the script and was like, I ain't worth shit in this movie. Let me make sure I'm memorable in this bitch. Like, you know what I mean? So
I didn't realize that because at the end you get to see I forgot his name, Alec Baldwin's character, right? Who talks big and bad the whole movie, and you get to see at the end, no wait, he really actually was the bad. So, but you never see that of Benicio del Toro's character because he's gone by then. So you get to see him participate in the first two capers, but it was kind of small.
Mm-hmm.
Kim, what did you think of that movie?
I enjoyed it. It's probably like my sixth time watching it. Like over years, I've watched it many times. So I always enjoy it every time I watch it, even though I know the ending, that it's gonna be, that it's, it's Venom. I know it, but I just always enjoy it. I do agree with Chris when it comes to Benicio del Toro and Kevin Spacey. They were the best actors. They were the best actors in this movie, like hands down. And Stephen Baldwin is a good actor, but he usually plays either an idiot or a hothead, right? Which we know the Baldwin boys, all of them are hotheads. So he's basically playing himself, right? So, but other than that, I thought that the whole thing was just a unique way of telling a story. And I never really saw movies tell a story this way. So when I saw it for the first time, I was like, it blew me away. I was like, I had no clue that it was him. None. When he started walking, they showed his feet, and then all of a sudden he started walking normal. I was blown away. I was like, this is not real. And the way that Kevin Spacey acted, it was just, he was phenomenal. I mean, Kevin Spacey, I know he's done a lot of bad things, but hands down, he is one of the best actors we had in the 90s, period. He was even good when he was on Netflix, the very first show on Netflix.
House of Cards.
Yeah, he was phenomenal on that show.
I mean, he's a great actor.
He's a great actor. And I felt like Benicio del Toro, I felt like I wanted to see him more also. I felt like they killed him off too soon. But because I really enjoyed, he was, for me, comedy relief because of the way he was talking, and nobody knew what the hell he was saying. But I mean, you know what he's saying, but you know what I'm saying? It sounded weird, right? But it was just, I just enjoyed everything about this whole thing. And what's the detective, David Dewan, a U.S. Customs guy that Benno was talking to the whole time. I enjoyed his performance. I always enjoy him. Chaz is a brilliant actor. So I really, really loved him. And then at the end, what blew me away was when he was like, at the end, he runs outside and he's looking for him. And you literally see him just get in the car in front of this guy. How did you not see him? That to me was bad editing, right? Because he was literally on the sidewalk.
No. That was the final FU. He got to the car. The guy opened the door. He turned around, lit a cigarette, stood there, almost did this.
Yes. And the guy still didn't see. I was like,
hey, still
and
winning.
That guy is going to be messed up in the head for the rest of his life.
Absolutely. Because we know that Kaiser Sose is gone. Like he's going to be off into like France or Italy, or he'll never come back to the United States because they're looking for him. Yeah. So I just thought it was a unique way to tell a story, and I've never ever seen that before. So I enjoyed it again. So number 7. So.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Jamani.
Okay. I thought that I don't know. It didn't stand up the test of time to me. I don't know. I put it in the class of like Reservoir Dogs and let me see what else. And The Dark Knight, right? Like Reservoir Dogs, it was kind of like you want to see, what was it? Who's Mr. Pink or what have you? There's kind of like a group heist and trying to figure out which person did what and all this type of stuff. I see that they kind of had this mystery to who's Kaiser Sose, but if that's all it is if you take that element if you take the reveal out of Kevin Spacey's character being Kaiser Sose, it really, the movie isn't really all that entertaining. It's just a story that he told, because you can't really tell what is fact from fiction. When you look at, like, I looked at the movie from the investigator side, and I'm like, you really don't know what happened other than the people in from the original lineup are dead now. And you don't know, you have no idea what exactly happened from them being lined up in New York to when he gets pulled into the police station at the end. It's all his story, so you don't really know. You're guessing just right along with the cops. It really doesn't stand up as a story alone. It's just if the reveal is the whole story. And I'm like,
that's it.
I think The Dark Knight did it way better.
Why would you compare those two though? Like that don't make sense to me. Like how do you compare? What reveal did you get in The Dark Knight that you're trying to compare it to The Usual Suspects?
The beginning of The Dark Knight, when they're pulling off the heist and they're like, one guy kills the other guy and says, Joker told me to do it. The other guy, the Joker told me to do it.
That was cool.
And it's the Joker.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, that's one part. That's not the whole movie, bro. Like you said, that's the first maybe.
I think that's his point.
But I'm saying
that's
that
his point. That's
aspect
not the movie.
of the reveal is more intriguing, or you know, it had that in and of itself could have been a movie if you wanted it to be. But
all right.
Well, so I like.
I see your point. I see your point there.
He actually, you know what? He's right. He's right, because to be honest, if it wasn't for that, because even for me, like, because like even as I was watching it, I was like, all right, cool. This is cool. I was like, all right, the acting is good, but let's be real. I mean, like the heist stuff was like some typical heist shit you see in like even the movie Heat and stuff. That's like that.
That's what I said. So at the time, I thought this movie was. I thought it was a B movie. I was like, it can't be a B movie. Look who they cast in it.
No. You're looking at them now. If you look
no. I mean, at the time, I did not think that. I thought this was kind of a B+ situation.
Yeah, that's
right?
Like, yeah. Steven,
and then you look at all the actors, and you're like, well, no, it can't be. But the story, and then, like you said, it's the reveal that like
sets it apart.
The biggest actor in the movie at the time was Chaz Polnicek. I can't. How do you pronounce his last name? Chaz.
Kevin.
He was the biggest actor in the movie
at
the time when it came out.
Well, so I was going to actually bring that up. So according to IMDb and in the movie, like Stephen Baldwin was the lead actor. Like he was.
No. It was Gabriel Byrne was the lead actor. His career was pretty hot at the time, so he was the lead actor of this ensemble cast.
Yes.
And then probably Baldwin, which
Kevin Spacey kind of stole the show, but at the time, and they said, I always thought this was a bit of movie hype. But they actually said that at some point, Gabriel Byrne got a little confused, and he thought he was ultimately the bad guy in the story, and think until the end. I don't know if that was really real, because you had the whole script in front of you.
Well, they did that for Marvel movie. Like they actually broke the script up so like people wouldn't know. But I doubt they did that back in the day. I mean,
I don't think so. I think it's a good sell. But Gabriel Byrne was actually the lead actor because he was the most, the biggest name at the time, I would say. Chaz Palmieri, I think that's how you say his last name. Anyway, he was also, obviously himself a big actor, but it was Gabriel Byrne that was like which is why the story kind of revolved around him a little bit. Yeah.
And Jamani, I'm sorry. Anything else?
I just liked Giancarlo Esposito, seeing I had totally forgot entirely that he was in the movie. Since I hadn't seen it since probably like 99 or 2000 when I first saw it. And I just found it very amusing being in the time that we're in now that he was wearing that chin diaper very proudly, because they kept telling him to pull up that mask and he just kept it just hanging and smoking at the same time. Just like, I was like, wearing it like a true non-COVID believer. I think that the movie, for me, what intrigued me the most about the movie, watching it the second time, was Kobayashi.
The lawyer?
Oh, the lawyer.
Because I'm like, this is the guy that makes everything
connect.
He's what makes everything work. Without him, the story doesn't work if we're to believe what we're told, and especially being to the fact that we see him. He's the guy who's in the car when
Kaiser Sose gets in the car. Getaway car.
Yeah. So I'm saying without him playing his role, having a gun put to his head so many times and all that type of stuff. If he didn't keep his cool, keep his composure and disposition, the story would have fell apart. I think he played the bigger role as opposed to looking at Kaiser Sose for the 2 hours that he, was in the police station and got immunity. Because I'm like, $91 million, that can buy you that can buy you anything, any type of freedom you want. So, 2 hours with $91 million, I might be cool too.
I mean, Jamani, I think one could have argued, at the time that Kobayashi was Kaiser Soze, because he was the one we saw manipulating everything.
So you could if the way they told the story and the way they used the actor, you could have saw it could have been him because he was like in the I said, he was in the background. He's like, it's not just me, it's my boss. My boss is doing all this. And they don't like we have to acknowledge everything was pretty much made up except for the lineup and them robbing those cops in the street. After that, everything was Kaiser. Everything. So you really can't believe anything that he said except for the Kent died and his girlfriend was killed. Like that's a fact. That got verified. So that could have been this Kaiser cleaning up the shit to be like, this one is representing the guy who's going to testify against me, so she got to go, and then then her boyfriend, and everybody else got to go, and then I'm making up the story now. So
or it could have been verbal making up a story, and the lawyer really was Kaiser. Yeah.
Also,
it could have easily been that way.
Also true that he was a good con man, and because why would I put myself in the fucking police custody? Like that don't make no damn sense. If I'm truly the mastermind,
so that you can tell the story.
I'll be like, nah, bro. Hey, you go in
there.
Yeah,
that was weird. I didn't understand that.
But he's a good con man. That's what he's been doing his entire career. He lies very, very well.
But you're going to turn yourself in? Like, no, just leave.
Well,
that was just
clout. If he wouldn't have told the story, they would have continued to look for them.
Yeah.
You can't.
But here's the deal.
You got to make them stop.
But he's already leaving out the country anyway, like you said. He's going to leave the country, so why would it even matter?
But he has immunity now.
Other than the fact that he just
and now they know his face, and now they know who he is.
But they made him stay. Remember, he was supposed to leave, and they made him stay. So he had to tell the story.
As smart as he thinks he is. Which means he messed up, which means he should have left, and they wouldn't even knew. They would maybe suspect it, but they wouldn't know that he was Kaiser. That's why
actually
I was a little confused about that.
He messed up because he walks off the boat when we first see him. He makes sure everybody's dead and he leaves. Then he gets picked up. He did mess up. I don't think he was ever supposed to get picked up. He put himself in the boat to make sure that the guy testifying against him gets killed, shot in the head. I got to do this myself. Can't trust anybody else. And so for some reason that we never really find out, he gets picked up. And that's when we enter the story. So he did mess up. I agree.
So perhaps thinking that he did kill everyone, which he didn't, that he was like, if it's him, if he's truly Kaiser, right? Maybe he's like, I'm the only one who could talk myself out of this shit. And his ego, he had to do it. Like he had to tell a story. Or like you said, he sent his henchmen in there to be like, go, like you take care of this shit, and things go bad, I'll be there when you get out. Because you never see said lawyer Kobayashi talk. Like he's just standing there driving, so you don't know who's in charge of who. I mean,
good point. Could have been Kobayashi the whole time.
Could be, yeah.
I like, hey, how'd it go?
Well, it could have been Kobayashi, but we know that Kobayashi isn't his name because we see the name on the mug.
Yeah, right. So we don't.
But I'm saying, like, we don't know how much of those clues he took from looking around the room. They only showed us a few things, like the barbershop quartet and a few of the things. We don't know how much of the story was from stuff he saw all around the room.
So they make a point of showing you like Redfoot to show you like everything he said about California. Everything about California on was bullshit. They show you that. So like that's
from the time they leave New York, when they rob the cops. That's all the fiction.
Yeah.
From the because you can verify the thing in New York happened. That's it.
Both of them. You can verify the lineup. You can verify the public robbery of the cops. Like that was verified, and the fallout from that. But like,
because we don't hear again about the drug dealer that was killed. We don't hear about that again.
Yeah. I thought
so. Basically, this movie could just be a dream. It could be like the ending of Dallas. I don't know.
Not quite that.
And now you know. Now that you said Jamani, now like it kind of made me kind of look at this movie a little bit differently. I was like,
Like
not
this
in a
movie is
positive
shit.
way.
Like, it
No,
wastes
it's
2
not that
hours.
shit. Just like it just doesn't. I don't know. And I just saw that. I don't know.
Well, can I ask
And I
Jamani
just saw
your
that Roger
question?
Ebert apparently hated this too. Now, when he was alive, I guess. But
Jamani, can I ask you a question? You started off by saying this movie you don't think it really stands up to time, right? And it's been over 25 years. So do you think it could be remade better?
better.
I think
more
I
better.
think
The better makes it more better.
More better.
I think
More better
Yeah.
blues.
More
I think
Mo better?
it's
Can
a
it be
challenge
remade
with-
Mo better?
I think it's a challenge with it could be remade if it's a period piece. I'll put it to you that way. It can't be remade in modern time.
Why?
Why not?
Is that what's a period
There's too
piece
much
then?
technology that would offset
What's up?
the telling of the story. So I'm saying if you keep it in the 90s or prior, you have a good chance of being
because everybody has a camera
a
phone.
lot better.
Yeah.
Is it the surveillance and everybody has a camera
Yeah,
phone?
and we got CCTV.
Like
It's a
at
lot.
the end,
Okay.
the end of the movie, it's somebody from the hospital comes in and says, "Let me get a fax machine," and they're faxing him the sketch of Kaiser Sose as he's walking out the precinct. That would have been a text in a microsecond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would have been
Yeah.
in
Like,
there.
oh, where'd he go? He's outside. Just check out that
Well,
camera
I mean,
on the other
other
block.
than the tech piece, do you think the story itself would stand the test of time?
I think. Well, the tech piece is a lot of the story because I'm saying if you would want to verify certain things about people, I'm like for all intents and purposes, the envelope that Verbal got could have just been blank printer paper when they all got dirt on themselves, right?
Right.
I'm like, it would have been more substantial to be like, well, back then it's like for somebody to have all this information on them, it was a big deal. Nowadays, it's like, okay, so what? You
okay, I see your point. Okay, I just want to know if you thought it could be like.
I think that if they made it like the 1930s or 40s, like if they took it out of 1990s and brought it backwards into like the 40s or 30s, the story that he told and the way that it was done could possibly fit in there because we don't
But like
have
that's
the
like trying to remake
technology.
Sixth Sense. It's like you already know, like, oh, well, all right, Bruce Willis is dead. Like
it's
you
not
kind of already
remaking.
know.
She's saying that it could have been like it was a original story. Like
Oh, you mean the real story of 2022?
Like that's what I'm saying. Like same thing we were talking about. Like Fight Club. Like I'm not saying redo it. I'm saying if it was made if Seven was made today as an original movie with some modification, would it stand up? Would the story as itself, with the reveal, all that stand up? And we relatively agreed. Yes, she's saying.
I think Seven can. I don't know about this because then unless you're just talking about really incompetent cops of today.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Like,
Well, the cops in the 1930s and 40s were way more incompetent.
you're talking about 30s. I was talking about modern day. You're talking about putting it back.
Yeah, I'm saying take this story and go backwards, like a period, and put it backwards into the 30s and the 40s, right? And have those kind of cops, and I think it would fit.
Having already seen the movie and knowing the reveal, when I watched it again, the big reveal for me that I had totally forgotten about in the 20 plus years since I'd seen it was that there's no drugs on the boat. Is that they're protecting a person. Yeah. So I'm like, you can redo the movie and put a twist in it where it's something like that, where it's, you might already think the big reveal at the end, but we'll put another Easter egg or something in there like right before it. That'll be because I'm like that really, like I had totally forgot all about the guy have seen his face and being able to testify to it, and that was the whole purpose of the supposed heist.
If we're doing rewrites, as he's walking out, I would have liked somehow to see that the witness be killed, like the guy in the hospital. because that's a problem. Like if he can see, like I would have loved for him to be like, no, it's all wrapped up, buddy. So if he would have got killed, I thought if he would have got released the day before, and because it's 1990, they still haven't worked out the sketch and all that shit, and then that fucker ends up dead, and then he's on the plane. I would have liked that. That would
actually, you know what? That's a great point. The witness isn't dead. The whole point, supposedly, of this whole thing is to kill the one guy who knows about not just what he looks like, but his whole business. And that guy's still alive.
That's a different dude. That's a different dude. He killed the
other guy on the boat.
That's right.
Yeah.
The other, but like that's a problem. Like, hey, boss, like we got something to take care of. We can't just.
Well, that's the thing. But remember, Kaiser Soze didn't know that Hungarian guy survived.
No, he didn't. All he
did not know.
He killed the guy who was the accountant, knew about all the money or whatever, right?
Said assistant, if said assistant would have known, it can't be just two people in this operation. Like if said assistant would have been like, hey, we took care of it or something, to be like I'm just saying this is a little bit longer, but to be like that dude got taken care of too while in police custody in the hospital.
Yeah, like they could have had one of the doctors or one of the nurses, give him a shot. And kill him.
I mean, because he's got all this power, he controls all these people.
Yep.
Yeah.
It would have been very easy for him to close that last loophole.
Yeah.
I thought also this movie set a standard, of the movies, and also for Kevin Spacey. I had to look it up. So Kevin Spacey was nobody at this point when this movie came out. So this came out, he can't. He was the last name on the list. He was not Kevin Spacey, like he was an actor, right? But he was up and coming. So this movie came out in August 1995. Seven came out in September 1995, and that worked because no one was looking for Kevin Spacey. He just happened to be in the cast. So for him to be the criminal mastermind in both movies, it works because you're not looking for him. And that's why you're like, who the fuck is John Doe? Like, who's this dude? Like, why do I give a fuck? Like, who's this cripple? Like, why should I give a fuck? And then in the end, you're like, bam, you're like, oh shit. So like this really, I would imagine these two movies back to back helped him get from point A.
They put him on the map,
especially Seven, because you got Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. So like it was their movie, and he happened to be in it. Yeah, but he was the movie. But we didn't even see him till the end of the movie, and he blew the whole movie away. It was all him, and it was like, I'm like that was awesome, and this really got he couldn't have been in one of these movies today starring Kevin Spacey, because you would have been like, it's him, because you're so.
I see your point. Wasn't he like a big stage actor before? He and Gabriel Byrne were both. Gabriel Byrne in particular was more big on stage, and he was like switching over to movies.
I cannot speak to that.
No, he was. He absolutely was. And I believe he's Irish too. He's from Ireland, I believe.
He is. Yeah. But Kevin Spacey, was he also a big stage actor before?
Because I know that his allegation
he's Canadian
came from him being like on plays in the 80s and stuff. So so he was doing that for like a decade plus.
So he didn't really have a big movie career before 1995. Like this is what kind of catapults him.
Yeah, to like American Beauty and stuff like that. Like that's what got him. Like now he's Kevin Spacey.
Okay.
And then I remember Jamani brought up a good point, because he said he saw Seven after Kevin Spacey was a superstar. So look back on it, it's not the same. Oh my god, he's coming into his own.
I never saw Seven.
You went to Juilliard, which is a really good school.
And so did fucking Viola Davis.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
They're cranking them out. Also, setting a standard. Anybody see a Scary Movie?
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, which one?
Stephanie.
Which one?
No, the first one, Scary Movie.
Okay.
You're
talking about the Doofy thing? I was thinking about the Doofy scene.
Yeah.
Officer Doofy at the end.
Yeah.
I was wondering. Yeah. Actually, it's funny when I saw it when I saw Usual Suspect, I was like, that's where Scary Movie got it from.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It was.
But I was thinking, but Usual Suspect ain't Scary Movie, but still, it was cool. I thought that was cool.
It was hilarious. So Steph, they did a similar version in this comedy and stuff. And it was actually so good. I thought it would have made the original movie better. Like if they would have did that for the actual rules, like Scream, I would have been like, that's a better reveal than it's me and a guy who couldn't have sex with his girlfriend. Like I would have been like, that shit was. I was like, wow.
I told you to knock when I'm cleaning my room. While his pants is down with the vacuum
that's
cleaner.
Getting on the list. That's good. We do a scary movie, damn it.
Oh,
anyway, but my point is like it said so. I think even to Giovanni's point, I think it probably inspired like also Batman, like the Dark Knight, like that situation would be like it's like you don't know who did it, but it's like it's all over there, like those like that kind of reveals, like that kind of thing. I don't know another story that's all based on one person's point of view though. I don't know any other story that was like Kim said, it's a unique telling of a story that you're in it and you think, oh, this must have happened and that must have happened. Not really. Like it's all.
You're right. I can't think of another. I was talking to my sister about this earlier. I can't think of another movie that was the story was told like this, and I would expect some imitation. At least one thing, but I can't think of another one right now.
Saw. I was look at Chris with Saw. Like if I remember, like the first one, like wasn't Jigsaw in the room with the other victims? And then like
you talking about twists? Oh, you talking about movies of twists?
Yes.
No, I'm also talking about the telling of the story from just the one person's
point of view. Also,
point of view. Yeah.
I was thinking more of the twist.
Yeah, one person narrative.
Isn't most movies made one person point of view in any crime or action film?
Well, no, I mean, but not to the singular voice and to be like it's all in someone's head. Like in the end, like if you it's
because a lot of movies. I think it's because a lot of times if it's in someone's head and you do the movie, a lot of people will probably hate it because then they'll be like, oh, that's not factual. You know what I mean? Okay. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't think it's a good idea to maybe do something like that, especially if you are going to do just a singular point of view and then make it questionable. Like, did any of this even really happen? You know what I mean? I would say one movie I think that did it correctly in a way, and only because of it wasn't just I guess it wasn't technically imagination, but it was in the guy's head. Was the movie Identity? The movie Identity. If y'all saw the movie Identity, that film with John Cusack. It was his multiple personalities basically battling each other in this insane guy's head, and basically they're just killing each other one by one because that was like who done it. But I felt like that was better because even though yes, that was not real, you know exactly like in the sense of who's going to win over, like who's going to take over the body in a sense, and it was like basically that little murderous little girl as we found out. Well, spoiler alert, sorry, but
I think I did see that movie.
After what you just said, that just blew my mind. Is this what Courtney Kemp was trying to do with the last season of Power?
Whole season? No, man, no.
The last 5 episodes where it was like, because remember when they would show the repeated scenes, they would switch up the dialogue and the emphasis on certain things depending on the character's point of view, and then it was a whole who did it.
I see. No, she was going for who killed JR. She said that, and then 2. That's not the same thing because we knew these events happened. The point is we're just seeing it from different perspectives, except for episode 15, which was shit because it made no sense. But I mean, those are real. See, I would say 300. Looking back on it, 300 and Saving Private Ryan. In both of those movies, Ryan, like Saving Private Ryan's the only one who lived, and that whole movie is technically him being like, hey, like his story. And I'm like, he wasn't even fucking there. Like, I mean, like a lot, like, if you think about it, like you don't know if this is supposed to be like a real telling of the story, like it was only him. Like he's the only one that survived that story. So hey daddy, what happened? Like, how'd you survive World War II? This is my story. Like I'm telling you what these guys did and how they did before they got there. And it's like it was really told from his point of view, but you don't know that until the end.
Well, Forrest Gump was like that. Forrest Gump was Forrest Gump telling his story.
Yeah,
that was one person, and we don't know. And his story
they had verifiable things in Forrest Gump too.
No, a lot of that was not verifiable.
Media.
He was his hips.
Yeah, but that was but even though
teaching Elvis.
He didn't do that. He was a good storyteller because of his mom.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So the Forrest Gump telling the story is not a reliable narrative. Because come on, he did all these miraculous things, and we know he's a very special person.
He's a ping pong champ.
Well, I mean, so to stay
Come on.
that point, a lot of that stuff, the bigger historical stuff that they tried to use to ground the movie was verifiable. I mean, like him meeting
that stuff, but he put himself in it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he put himself in the story.
He just, I mean, he was running across the nation. I would say 300. So 300, the end, like the story at the end of 300, where like this is the great battle of how like our king died. He made that shit up because he was gone by the time all that happened. Like that was his story to rile up his people.
I don't know. Well, if you want to take that arc, you can kind of say that was this thing where every Christmas Carol thing was like, so Jacob Marley was dead to begin with. Like I don't think. I'm sorry. I hate to think that all these movies are like, oh, let's do like Usual Suspects when it comes to. No, I'm not. I'm pretty sure that Usual Suspects definitely was not the first either.
No. What I was saying was that you guys were saying, was there a movie that had a one narrative throughout the whole movie? Yeah. And Forrest Gump was one narrative throughout the entire movie, except for when he was talking to his mother and when he was talking to Julie. Those are not, but his story where he put himself in historical stuff, no, that was his narrative. Those were not true. Because I mean, you can tell when he's sitting there with the chocolate and the woman is listening to his story, it's stories. And she's very, she's very intrigued.
He's engaged, right. But he does have Apple stock. I mean, it just I see your point. No, I'm not, again, Chris, I'm not saying that all of 300 is like that. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm saying, but the very last fight where he's like the last rally speech of he pulled out the blade and he yelled like Zeus or some shit, like that was all made up. Because at that point he already left. Like Leonidas sent him to be like, go tell the story of victory because we ain't making it. And he was a good storyteller. Like he could tell the story. So I'm saying that final amazing clip was truly all made up because he wasn't even there. I mean, by the time they got back, they were all dead, and he made that. Not the whole movie.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't. But ain't no one sitting there being like, "Oh, that's Kaiser Sose making up this whole thing about what happened on the battlefield with 300." No, I mean he was. You're right. Technically speaking, he was not there, but he was not trying to make it up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. To the point of like a mastermind making people believe that this story happened. In the end, you find like Forrest Gump actually was not special needs; that he actually was a genius, and he created Apple. Like that would
now maybe to your point.
Like, oh shit! Like he killed JFK.
Maybe Keith Ledger every time he kept trying to tell all these people like, let me tell you how I got these scars. He keeps changing it up. Yeah, he's talking about. Yeah, maybe there you go. Maybe I'll give you that.
All right, unless you find out that was actually Batman.
Who gave him the scars?
No, Joker was.
Well, they tried that with the Joker, right?
What we were saying, that's what we're saying. Like he kept on changing the story. You don't know who the fuck Joker was.
No. The Joker, the movie. They did kind of the tie-in with Bruce Wayne's father, Thomas Wayne, and.
Oh yeah, he was a illegitimate son or some shit.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm good. As my friend Carl says, I saw Taxi Driver.
Requiem for a Dream. Requiem for a Dream did that too. Requiem for a Dream.
Didn't see that.
That was a good one. Yeah, the mother, because she was like mentally out of it, and she kept thinking things was happening. Like, and so you would see stuff from her point of view, and her son was like, no, like Jared Leto's character was like, Mom, this is not happening. This is not. He's like, yes, it is. Like, and then later on, you're seeing that she's just being delusional. You know what I mean? Through her, through his eyes afterwards, him, and then Marlon Wayans much after, which is damn. I can't believe that was when Marlon Wayans was actually doing something serious, surprisingly. So anyway, good movie, by the way. Kind of dark, really dark, I would say. Be prepared.
Stacey, so you're back, and we appreciate you. How would you?
Welcome back, Stacey.
Rewritten the movie. Don't do that. How would you have rewritten the movie? Do you have any suggestions?
I don't.
All right then. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do you feel like it could be redone today? Were you here for that? Do you feel like this movie could have been?
Nothing could be redone. No.
Okay.
Don't even put it out there in the universe. Just leave it alone.
Done today, not redone. Done today.
No. I mean, I think it's been like.
I'm sorry, in the time frame where they decided to remake Willow 30 years later. They might look back and say, "Can we do Usual Suspects again?" It's a
No,
cult classic.
we're not saying will they. We're saying should it.
No,
And-
I'm
and
saying
No,
if
he's
this-
saying that I think this movie has inspired other movies to try to play off of the similar like reveal. I can't think of any that's really done it
well.
Me neither.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, again, except for scary movie.
I mean, they can do like a reveal type movie.
I'm just trying to think of any movie where you were surprised that the bad guy was who the bad guy was.
Oh, the bad guy thing. Well, not that I would say the best twist, in my opinion, still by far, is Sixth Sense. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then then the twist. I mean, obviously there was twist before Sixth Sense, but it was
that's
like
M.
after
Night
that.
Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of fell off after a while. But yeah. I mean,
He did, but he has a special knack for that.
And Jordan Peele kind of fell into that same trap too. That like since this first two movies like always having those twists, right. And then when like Nope didn't, people are like this movie shit. Like nah, it is what it was. Like it just
Nope was good.
A lot of people were disappointed, man, because like
people were disappointed, but it made a lot of money and had good Rotten Tomato score.
Still disappointed, man. But
you were disappointed.
I was not disappointed. I mean, people were like, it was not a twist. They were like, "Where's the twist?" Like, it's like they're like, "Nah, I'm not the only." Saw that. I mean, I said it was what it was. I wasn't expecting no big like mind blowing twist.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it was still. I think the majority of people thought like here's the. I thought there was going to be a twist in Nope too, but fine, it didn't have twist, but it was still a good film. I think I don't know. Those are probably like 20-something-year-old trolls. Who probably texting throughout the movie half the time, like the idiots that are in my theater half the time. God damn it, like you know what I mean. So
no, I'm just saying, but it's but some directors, some writers like got into that kind of trap, and like if they don't keep it up, the audience expect it, right? And if they don't see it, like it becomes hard to keep up, like to keep up with their expectations. That's all I'm saying.
People kind of want they do try to pigeonhole you, especially if you do it well. Yeah. Like M. Night Shyamalan and now Jordan Peele, you do it well, they expect you to do it every time. Right. And it's hard for them to accept that that's not the story you want to tell every single time.
Yeah. Like Jordan Peele can't do a romantic comedy, but that's not.
Well, he like, can. I'm sure it would be phenomenal.
Nobody wants to see that shit. Like what?
Listen, he's a good storyteller. Can do anything. And if he sat down and decided I don't watch scary movies, but I know he's a good storyteller. So if he decided he wanted to tell a good romantic story, he could.
I mean, he could, but I don't know who's gonna watch it.
Because like. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, he can do whatever he wants. I mean, the man's a millionaire. He can do whatever he wants. But I'm just saying, when he goes to the executives and he says, "This is the movie I want to make,"
it's gonna be a hard sell.
Yes, they're gonna be like, the majority of your movies have been horror.
I want to do romance.
Well, I mean, he did like
come back and you have something scary, like for sure.
Yeah, but they're blockbuster movies. Like,
but we're acting like he's doing like Steven Spielberg like did 20 back-to-back films and now they all got to be like Jurassic Park here. Like I feel like for example, Bryan Singer, who directed this dude went from this movie to freaking X-Men. Like what? Like that was just random. Like I mean, he did like Apt Pupil, but the movies that Bryan Singer did, like from then to like,
can you see Stephen King doing a romantic comedy?
Stephen King actually wrote romantic for like.
Okay, that's not what I said. Can you see him actually making and writing? Well, writing, because he always writes. So he's gonna write it and actually make a romantic movie. Stephen King.
Stephen King doesn't make movies, but I guess if he did, I guess he could pull it off. Only Stephen King.
Well, Stephen King maybe a series then, because he's done series.
This series, I mean, I don't know if he can do with Haley Met Sally, because like that kind of movie, like that was. They spit out the.
That's what I'm saying.
But Steve, you're talking about somebody who's been creating books and movies. I mean, books and movies for 35 years.
But everybody should be able to do whatever they
someone
want.
who did this for 5 years.
No, but you should be able to write and try whatever.
I'm saying that too, but I'm saying that's not even a good comparison to begin with. Like,
I don't think it's an unfair comparison. I have not watched a single Stephen King that I know of. Actually, I tried to watch the Sleep Doctor. Anyway,
that was terrible.
It does. I
I
don't like
didn't see
scary
that.
movies. So everything's scary to me. I don't like scary movies. I will say this though, that if just thinking objectively, a man who's adept at telling scary stories could make a romantic twist out of it. I do think he could do it if he wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And it'll still probably be scary, and it still could end with
Candyman was
the
a little
hero
scary.
and the heroine getting
Candyman was.
together.
Candyman was
Like
cool.
Ryan Coogler, right? I mean, yes, he did black films before, but when it was announced that he was going to do Black Panther, people were like, "What? This isn't the type of films you do." Yes, you do urban stuff, but it's usually like actually street level type movies you do. Like, oh, I was like, all right, this movie might be horrible for MCU, and he proved everybody wrong. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, even when Stallone kind of handpicked him to do Creed, people were like, "Creed, like, oh, like a Rocky spinoff?" Like, I don't know, and then it's just like he went. It just. It's clear that he kind of went a different direction than what he did in the very beginning of his career. So yeah, I feel like for someone who's only did a couple films now M. Night, because that motherfucker with like all those bombs that he's been doing lately, I'm like, this dude needs to.
Chris, did you watch Old?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, was that M. Night?
Yes.
Oh, the one with the beach, right?
The one with the beach? I did see that.
Did you like it?
And then the little girl, and then the little 10-year-old girl was pregnant. Like,
yes.
She was like 19. That was.
I was like, where did I watch it? It was not good.
Watch it. And that's your fault. You should say M. Night. You should have been like, no.
Yeah. And wasn't there an actor in there whose name was like Cadillac Rosier or something like that? It was like Royce. Like, wasn't it was like a rapper named like his name was like Cadillac something?
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
Cadillac. Yeah, it was something ridiculous. Yeah. I'm like. And he was supposed to be a rapper. I'm like, M. Night, what are we doing? M. Night was the stereotypes of black rappers. I was like,
leave that to us.
Guess who was the person?
Leave that to the professionals. We export our stereotypes. Thank you. I was like, stick to the Asians. No. Back to Usual Suspects.
But wait. But I know an actor is different than like a writer, director, but you got to think about Al Pacino. He was known for the gangster flicks, but he actually won the Oscar for Son of a Woman. So, you can.
Yeah, Son of a Woman was a very good movie.
Yeah.
I would give you Will Smith and Tom Hanks.
You can keep Will Smith.
Before the assault.
No, before the assault. What Smith?
He's not that great an actor.
Thank you. I was going to say he's good, but I don't think he's that great. He ain't no Giselle as everyone.
He went from Parents Just Don't Understand to being an actor, a legitimate, respectful actor.
He wasn't the only time that he did a movie.
DMX did not pull that off.
Yeah.
Did not pull that off.
So like Taylor Swift, right? So like Taylor Swift.
What was the movie? Too, right? I think it was when he played Muhammad Ali. Yeah, one of the reasons he did so well in it is because the director kept holding him back from doing the Will Smith. And I remember, I think that was the movie. It was one of the movies. I think it was that movie, but he would try to do the Will Smith and they would like, no.
That's like, because he was learning to adapt. You have to.
No, it wasn't learn. He was just trying to do the Will Smith.
Dude's 50 years old. What else is there to learn? Like, you should know this by now.
But at that time, he was not 50 years old. When he did Muhammad Ali, he was like in his 30s.
I thought you said King Richard. I thought you said King Richard.
No. I haven't seen King Richard, but I was just talking about Muhammad Ali. I think it was Muhammad Ali where he got really a lot of critical acclaim, and part of the reason for that was he had to. He couldn't do the Will Smith.
But I'm saying reinventing yourself. I'm saying very few people can pull that off. And again, Tom Hanks was bosom buddies, and then he went to fucking Philadelphia. Like, I mean, that's still acting, huh?
I would not put don't disrespect Tom Hanks by putting his name next to Will Smith. I'm sorry. Like,
that's not even.
I'm sorry. There's no
apples and oranges.
That is way too different. They're way too different. Like so different of actors. Tom Hanks can literally do anything. The
caliber of Tom Hanks. It's far.
He went from playing a gangster.
He is a Morgan Freeman. He's on with Morgan Freeman.
So, David, what point were you trying to make?
transformations can be done, and like
Okay.
it is not
Yes,
easy.
they can.
Like a lot of
just
people
don't
try
use
and they
Will
go
Smith
stay
as
in
your
your lane.
example.
Like a lot of singers try to be actors. They're like, hey, just stick to the record albums. All right, like that's not what you do.
But then you
no
do
reason-
Well,
have
but yet
a few
Ludacris is
musicians
everywhere still.
who can't show their acting.
Well, like
develop
Toni
themselves into
Braxton did
actors.
two. She's done like 2 movies lately. Well, 3.
Kelly
And I was
Rowland
like, she needs to go back to being half naked and singing.
to music. Like I
Oh,
mean, but
yes.
for the Fresh Prince, you know, to be like that's who he was. That he had to fight to be like when he did like Bad Boys. He was like, I'm not rapping. Like I'm trying to be an actor. And to the point that they're like used to rap. Like there's people like used to say, yeah, I used to do that shit. But like I'm an actor now. Like and I'm like and he did it. And people like say it took a long time, but he got there. And not everybody's at the Tom Hanks level, but he is an Oscar winner. Like I'm saying. And despite the fact the whole beating his ass, and a lot of other actors who have not achieved said goal. Okay, like and Halle Berry. I mean, she got one. That was a bad thing, but she's always been an actor. But if she starts singing, people are gonna be like, "Stay in your acting." All right, like that's not what.
And frankly, most of the time when Halle Berry
Jennifer
acts,
Lopez.
people aren't impressed.
Also,
They're not.
Okay, let's talk about what she won the Oscar for. Make me feel good. What?
Hey.
What?
She went.
She was having sex with Billy Bob Thornton
Would you want
over
to
a
put that
coffee
Billy
table.
Bob? Anyway, we're getting off track.
It was
Okay,
bad. It was
we'll put
bad.
that on
It was
the- we'll
horrible.
put that on the 2000 list of movies when we get there. All right.
Okay.
No, I'm
No,
not
I
watching
was
it.
like, I'm gonna be like,
What the rated version?
oh yeah, I saw. I was like, yeah, you got to watch the unrated version. What's the point? I mean,
You gotta
really
watch the
waste your time.
extended
I'll be like,
director's cut. The director's
No.
cut.
I was like, what? I went to after the Oscar buzz, and I was like, what is what? I was like, I
Hey,
gotta go to.
I went to see it just to see Diddy. I just want to see Puff Daddy. I was like, that's my dude.
That's what you're doing. Also, another rapper who needs to stick to what you know.
Absolutely.
Like,
Just dance
He
around
don't
the
even
stage,
act
dude.
though.
He
He
cannot
don't even
act.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I was about to say he doesn't even act. Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
I think
But
he
he's
did
done,
that
he's
movie as
been
a
in like
favor.
3 different things, but he wasn't good in any
Yeah.
of them.
Oh, you know, that's right. The only thing I can think of he was good in was Raisin in the Sun when he played Walter. Was
What?
it Walter Williams?
Oh yeah, he did do that.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he was good.
he
Yeah,
did.
because he was not.
He
He was
actually was
nominated.
pretty good in that. He actually was.
That was it.
Basically
Yeah,
says
I could,
otherwise.
yeah.
Like, the whole
I wouldn't go
cast
that
of-
far.
Huh? Was those say?
Jemani,
Jemima.
Oh,
Jemani.
I was what?
No, go ahead, Jemani. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying I wouldn't go that far. But Mos Def, who was in Monsters Ball, I find him to be a better actor than a rapper.
But Mos Def is a good actor though. He was in a movie also where he played the first Black heart surgeon. He was phenomenal in that. He really was. Yes, he was really good. Mos Def is a talented guy. He is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No one was saying Will Smith isn't good. All right.
Yeah.
I was just saying.
He did.
You said his name next
He's
to
done
Tom
some
Hanks.
pretty good movies. Like
You
the
can't put
movie
his
he
name next
did
to Tom.
where he played the doctor who figured out
Concussion.
CT. Yeah, the concussion. He did a really good job in that movie.
His accent was horrible.
I Am
Yeah,
Legend.
Yeah, that was.
That was a shitty ass accent. Will
Yeah.
Smith, oh,
Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
accent was bad, but his acting was not bad.
Like Pursuit of Happiness. Again, this is.
Oh yeah, Pursuit of Happiness was
I'm not
good.
point of this conversation. Just but you can change. Like people can change.
Yeah, you can.
People try. Not everybody make it. But like some people can get from point A to point B.
Well,
Like,
LL Cool J's an actor. So is Queen Latifah.
some people get from.
Queen
Are they
Latifah has
though?
a TV show right now that's in its 3rd season.
Are they though?
Are
I
they?
mean, yeah. Okay,
just-
that's saying a whole lot about like
Have you seen the
Like-
movies and shows that she's done? She's pretty damn
Queen
good.
Latifah.
She's a fabulous singer.
Have you seen the scenes of Equalizer? Like my boss sent me like there's like a compilation of videos of Queen Latifah doing ridiculous stunt work of her like flipping someone. And I'm like, that's like Steven. It was like she's like Steven Seagal. She's a black Steven Seagal the way she's flipping people, and it looks
Yeah, but Steven
ridiculous.
Seagal actually did go to Japan
so-
and study kung fu
I know Queen Latifah ain't doing no homework.
It is.
Like,
or
she-
whatever. I'm
what-
sorry.
she
I
needs to stick to
apologize.
either
for
rapping
kung
or
fu.
doing
We
Set It
will
Off
put-
Part 2.
we
Well, she
will
can't do
put-
Part 2. She's gone. Yeah.
We will put a Steven Seagal movie.
It wasn't
somewhere.
kung fu, but the point is, he actually did study that in real life.
He in his day.
Yeah,
like,
but Steven, he's not a good actor at all.
Yeah, he's like,
He never
Yeah.
was a good actor.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I feel
I
about
go
like,
with you
the
on that.
Latifah.
I just like the fact that his stunts are authentic.
Yeah, they're authentic, but yeah, the dude, have you seen him now trying to do that stuff? He's horrible.
like,
Yeah.
I don't. Even he don't like it.
The dogs don't agree. All right. We got to wrap.
Oh, really? Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Chris,
Hamilton's cousin. It's all good.
all right. Chris, anything else about
with the movie? Yeah. Movie's good. I think Jemani was kind of somewhat right or whatnot, in the sense of, even though it was a good film compared to the other films we just already kind of reviewed, like Seven and Fight Club. I don't know. This was good, but I don't think it was great. You know what I mean? Because I think you're right. Some movies don't really, in my opinion, stand the test of time. But to be honest, even if you take away the elements of when it was made, it was mostly just fabrication. So it's like, so I don't know what to believe, but it works for some people where it's like, oh, I like the idea that I don't know what happened. I was like, just give me the damn story, right? If you're going to go to the trouble of telling me that so-and-so is Kaiser Sose or whatnot, how about you tell me what really did happen? Oh, wait, credits rolling. Oh, that's not happening. Okay. So It's like, so yeah, but whatever. So yeah, so I thought it was great. Like I said, if it wasn't for the acting, I would think this movie itself was like so. But that the acting is just the thing, I think, in my opinion, saved the mumbling plot. Not just Benicio del Toro's mumbling, but the plot itself was mumbling, right? And if it wasn't just, and let's be real, even the twist at the end, if it was not for his let's be real, if they cut out the whole thing with the leg and they just said, oh, it is verbal, one night, and they just said it out loud, it would have been it wouldn't have held that much weight. But the transformation of his leg going from limp to normal, that's what made people be like, oh, that's awesome. So that was an actor's choice, not a plot. So it's like, so yeah,
I was about to say, I agree with you. Thinking about the director's job, especially after all the shooting is done, and directors have been known to kill a good movie in the editing, right?
Yeah.
And so this movie clearly, like you said, the story itself, not to me, it was a great storytelling, and but it was also a fairly straightforward story. But how the movie was edited and put together and cut, in addition to the acting, is what gave you what we had. So I kind of agree with what you're saying, Chris, on there was a lot more. You were more attributing to the actors. I'm also including the director kind of editing and telling the story a certain way.
And that soundtrack, as you point out.
And the sound, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all that stuff was good, but I mean, but you know what also had a good soundtrack? Avatar. Also that looked beautiful? Avatar. But the plot, let's be real, the plot wasn't that great. You know what I mean? If you really dissect the whole thing. But we're all looking at Avatar as this huge, amazing movie that is like now seen as by far the biggest movie of all time. But until you start dissecting the plot. And this one, I felt this plot was muddled. At times I was like, oh, wait, never mind, they're back in the flashback moments or whatever. But overall, it's a good film. I'm sure, I don't know, I don't look at the comments, but I'm sure add this to other commenters hating me for saying this stuff or whatever. So whatever, I don't know. I don't even read the comments, so I hear it secondhand. So nah.
Nobody hates you. Nobody hates you.
No. Apparently some commenters get upset with sometimes we shit on shows. I'm like, isn't that what we do?
Sometimes.
Isn't that what we do? Like this is our job.
I'm looking forward to the comments on this movie then.
Oh no! Let's manage expectations. All right, like I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, true.
Like this ain't the one. Let the right.
Yeah. These people probably like me and Stacy be like, oh, I thought I saw this movie too. They talking about a different film.
Oh damn it! The thumbnail thing, I'm like, yeah, that's a good segue. Stacy, any final words for this movie?
I thought it was good. It just made me. I just thought of Lucky Number 11, where they did the twist at the end.
Yes.
Like, I guess because when I watched this, I already knew what was happening, so I didn't really get caught up into all of the who's Kaiser so-and-so? Like, I already knew who he was, right? So, but like when I watched Lucky Number 7, it was like, oh, this little idiot. And then he turns out that he was actually like the person. It was like, oh shit. So I feel like that's what I would have felt if I had watched this in 95.
Wow.
But yeah, it's still a good movie though.
I like that. I like that comparison. That would be on our 2000s list. That was a good movie.
Yeah,
That was a good
definitely
movie.
put that.
That was a good movie. Yeah. Oh man, I already got some thoughts on that one. Jamani, what you got?
Oh, and one more thing.
Stacey.
Giancarlo Esposito. Did I say his name right?
Close
It's
enough.
kind of off topic. But I had a dream when I was 12 years old that he shot me in the face with a shotgun. And I'm still mad about it. And I still remember it to this day. Anyway, I just had to put that out there.
That's some therapy
Still
right
cute,
there.
though.
That's some therapy.
Goodness.
Jamani, did anybody shoot you in the face in your dreams or whatever?
No.
Okay, all right. Go, continue. please.
We're all naming out Giancarlo Esposito movies. I think the one that I first remember seeing him in is Fresh back in the day with Samuel L. Jackson. So I was just shouting that movie out. But Kaiser Sose, that's Kim, being from New York. You ever been to Cat's Deli? That sounds like something you order at a Jewish deli. Like, give me the sauce on the roll. Kaiser Sose.
Yeah.
I like that. Give me a.
Yes, I have. Yes.
All right.
But for anybody who hasn't seen the movie, if you want the sparks, the Cliff Notes version, watch Jay-Z, The City Is Mine video, right? That is the spoiler alert of all spoiler alerts for the movie. It will give you the ending and just the ending. Yeah, like that movie was ruined. This movie was ruined for me by watching that music video back in the day. Just like going to school ruined, kids are cruel, as we know. Kids came to school immediately after watching The Sixth Sense and ruined the whole movie for the rest of the class.
I was like, what the fuck, man? I was like,
where are you going?
I thought this was turning into a therapy session.
I was like,
you're in a
safe place.
More.
You're in a safe place. No, okay, but you're also on the internet, so you're not. You're actually not.
But yeah, so I thought when I put the movie on to watch it again, I thought this movie was going to be like 2.5, running close to 3 hours. I was very surprised at how short it was because when I watched it the first time, it seemed way longer than it actually was. So I was surprised that the pacing was a lot faster than what I thought it was going to be, but yet it still didn't have a lot of meat on the bone because, as we discussed, it was a one narrative story. So that's pretty much all I got.
All right,
it's short. It's not as long as I thought it was. It's short if you want to go out and watch it if you haven't seen
it. Kim, anything else?
I think this movie is very entertaining for what it is. I mean, like I said, I've watched it 7 times now, 6 times, whatever. And it's always entertaining to me. I enjoy good actors, and I think that this movie was acted very well. And of course the twist was wonderful, but I enjoyed the acting of it, the characters of it. I thought were phenomenal. So if that's your thing, that you should watch it because it keeps you intrigued too. Even and no matter how many times you watch it, you're still intrigued by what he's saying because he just throws stuff out there. Like when he was like, I was in a Guatemalan, and I was like, what? That has nothing to do with what you're talking. You know what I'm saying? Like he every time he threw stuff to throw the cop off, you were kind of like, wait, what? At the same time that the cop is like, what? You know what I mean? And the cop is like, get back on track, right? And so when he gets back on track, you're like, but this whole thing is, like you said, it's his narrative, but it's an entertaining narrative, right? Yeah. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was, I think it's worth the watch again. So I recommend it.
Thank you.
Can I just say one other thing? I listened to a podcast last week where they were talking about Karens and weaponizing victimization, right? And Kaiser Sose or Verbal really, I guess you say, like begat that the weaponizing of victimization. Because I'm like, I guess it's just my nitpicking. It was everything was like somebody touched them. It was, you're gonna make me, I'm gonna be shitting blood. I'm gonna be pissing snot. You know, it was like every time somebody did something to him, it was like, you're gonna hurt me permanently for the rest of my life. So, you know, I think he played up the disability angle to as a weaponizing canon, if you'd say.
All right, as a defense
It
mechanism.
made him seem more fragile than he really was.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That was just a head trip.
And the cop was like, "You're stupid. It's okay.
Yes.
You were just a pawn. Now go ahead." He's like, "Ha ha, bitches." I was like, "Oh, it was all me." I was like, "Oh, anyway, bitches." Stephanie.
Okay. So obviously, I highly endorse seeing the film if you never have. If you want to take a trip back to the 90s, I agree with everyone. I'm not sure they could remake this movie exactly as it is. Or almost exactly, you know, update the story for today. It would be fun, but you kind of have little tidbits of it in Ocean's 11 and 13 and even 8. So it's, you know, you have tidbits of this movie because it kind of did set a standard back in the day today. So I don't know if you could really bring this movie back again. So if you're deciding to watch it for when it was, which is really kind of standard setting for the twist, for the storytelling type of aspect of it. But in general, I will say one thing that Hollywood doesn't do enough to my satisfaction is this ensemble cast was not one main person and a bunch of, you know, number twos. It was an ensemble of all really good actors, and some actors are just, a few of them are excellent, good, and then people who tried really hard and brought a good performance, okay? But it was a movie full of people with this range of talent that we got to see all of it on it. And I would like to see more of that. I would like to see more of a movie that has the group carrying the story versus just one singular protagonist and then, you know, everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I'm sorry. I just saw your comments. Sorry. Explaining the legend of the villain is a fun scene. The other big surprise films were Seven and Identity. We did Seven. I think we're gonna do Identity. Wasn't Identity a 2000s movie?
Yeah.
Good Twist, fertility film with Bill Paxton, and Primal Fear with
Primal
Fear with Richard Gere. That I was like, and Ed Norton. I was like, what the fuck? I was in AIT when I saw that, and I was like, oh, like it was always him. That's
I never saw that movie, so I'm looking forward to it.
Huh?
That's a good
I never saw that movie, so I'm looking forward to it.
It is. It's good. It's like it's a lot. I was gonna like say anyway. Just like there's a killing. Like so, again, Richard Gere. He's sympathetic to his client. Like he defends him at all costs. He's a simple man, and you know he's just trying to help him through this stuff. And then it all goes to shit in the end. And it's like what? Like it's really good. Ed Norton really brought it. And I would say they both did a great job because it's really Richard Gere's movie. Like he's on the posters and shit, and if I remember, but Ed Norton was a great actor.
Yeah, Ed Norton's pretty much always brings it.
He was not good.
He's an enjoyable actor to
not in Glass Onion. He was horrible. I watched it last night. He was not
Glass
good.
Onion.
Oh, Glass Onion it's Knives Out, Glass Onion.
Oh, part two.
Yeah,
it was
a
shit.
Sequel.
It was not good.
Yeah, I didn't care for part one because
I liked part one. Part two, it has Ed Norton, and Jesus Christ, he needs to just go back wherever he was and not act anymore.
Man, was that bad?
Yeah,
I gotta see it because like part one, I was like, "Are you serious?" Like it just seemed very simple. Like it was a lot of stuff going on for the villain to be revealed. And it was like that's all he saw that in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Well, and they do exactly the same thing, but it's different actors, and there's only one, of course, Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig. He's in it, but everybody else is new. But I think Ed Norton, he needs a more dramatic role. Like he's good at dramatic roles. He's not good at kind of casual roles. That's not where his niche is. And this murder mystery was kind of a casual role for him. And it just wasn't good. They should have had someone else do it. Yeah.
Good murder mystery Clue film. Yes, Clue.
It is like a Clue film, but it's
not as good though.
No. I mean, Clue is classic. One of my other all-time favorites. So
yeah, Clue was good for its time. Let's just say for its time, that movie was good. No, seriously, it was good for that time. It was a good movie. Yeah,
it got elements. I mean, you know what I'm saying? What I think with Knives Out, they were trying to bring back the elements.
Yes,
it was the butler in the kitchen with the pitchfork.
Yes,
or whatever.
They were.
And it's just how you execute it. I watched it. I originally watched this movie on VHS as a kid. I think my brother rented it from Circle K. You can still rent movies from Circle K. And I didn't know who the killer was, but in the end, it was all Kaiser. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So it was and watching it again, like Seven, I was looking for like the details of how much did he see in the interrogation in the chief's office? How much was he looking at to be like, now I got this story, now I got this story? When did he see the bottom of the coffee cup? Because he never looked at it.
They showed you. They showed you when he saw the bottom of the coffee cup.
All right, because I was like,
I promise.
All right, because I was like, when did you that ties the whole story? That, like you said, Kobayashi is what brings the whole thing together. So I'm like, when did he see the bottom of the coffee cup? So my main thing watching it again was that, because I knew everything else was like, I didn't pay attention because I knew all the shit was made up. And like I said, Stephanie said the soundtrack really had me like, because they're like, like they try to ratchet up the sound, and Kaiser, it's coming for me. To Chris's point, he should have murdered more mad people, bro. I didn't know Kaiser was a real threat. Like, it was a lot of talking, but I didn't feel it. But the music kind of was like, oh shit, Kaiser's coming for me.
He killed his own family. That's all you needed.
Or did he though? Or did he though? Yeah, like he's the one that's telling the story. So
it could have been made up.
He even made that shit up too.
And he actually said the one story that I've heard that I believe. So he tells you it's a story. You don't know if it's true or not.
Right.
So it's like. It's like, hey, you wanted to believe it. I know, right? I was like, did he even kill his family? Like, he has a wife and 3 kids, happy as shit in Europe, just hanging out. They're shopping right now. He has a grandchild on the way. You didn't even know that.
Okay.
That's part 2. Anyway, what's up?
I was gonna say it's the little kids, the baby driver.
Stop it. I did like that movie. That's right. That was yeah. Terry and I saw that. That was a pretty good movie. It was all right. That would be hilarious. That was part 2. Anyway, guys, I'm getting off track. Point is, thank you guys very much for watching and commenting. We got a lot more 90s movies coming. I'm adding Snatch, Pulp Fiction.
That was already on the list.
Snatch? Okay, now I feel bad then. Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction. We're doing Pulp Fiction.
It was already on the list.
It was already on the list. Not. All right. I believe I would check it out.
You guys looked up Snatch and said it was 2000.
Okay, it's not on the list.
So thank you guys. I feel so bad. So I was like, you got to do Snatch, and you got to.
Yes, damn, it came right out at 2000. Yep.
Oh, so round. I was like, all these movies start to blend.
Oh wow,
for me.
January.
Damn it. So I was like, yeah. So I want to do those two.
I remember Backdraft.
Huh?
Somebody said Backdraft. Wasn't that like 80?
Yeah, Backdraft was a
91.
80s. I thought Backdraft was 80s. 81 or 91?
91.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Backdraft with Kurt Russell. Yeah, that was a good movie. That was a good mystery.
Yeah. Ron Howard directed that one. Ron Howard.
Oh yeah, it's good. So it's a lot of great movies out there. So we got a lot of stuff coming for you, and we got Riches. Kim gave us Riches, so we got that next week. The Chippendales, which is a stripper show, not a Disney cartoon. I was like,
rescue.
There's some different.
Wait, so they actually have
when there's danger.
You know, my kids used to watch Chippendales.
Are people actually stripping? That's my question. Are people actually stripping?
Yeah.
They're not naked.
They're not naked. No.
No, but
it's what it is.
Chippendales were ever actually naked.
No, they weren't. It's about the actual when the whole thing started. The creator of Chippendales. That's what this is about. But there is a murder mystery in it that actually happened. It's a true story. Yeah.
Well, I'm intrigued.
Yo.
Well, if you read what it's about, it tells you there's a murder.
I ain't doing all that. I'm gonna watch episodes and see what happens. But
Yeah.
Every time I think of Chippendales, I just think of SNL. I just think of Chris
Oh
Farley.
yeah, with Chris Farley
and Patrick Swayze.
And
Chris
Patrick
Farley,
Swayze.
Yes. Yeah, they're
That
not
was
naked at all, Stephanie. It's just in the beginning, it's like rundown men. Like they just get men from anywhere. So definitely we don't want to see them. But to start the show, to start the series, you got to see these horrible.
You gotta get there so they can see how it evolved. Okay.
Yes, and you see it exactly because it really becomes like a show. Yeah.
They were trying to see the full Monty, but the full Monty had some questionable dudes. So,
so we will do that as a season because I want to see the whole story for that.
Especially after Gigolo. Oh my goodness!
After fuck, man. Yeah, we gotta wait. We gotta wait to see. That was painful.
No, I can attest that this is this is way better than
yes, Jumani. Yes, it is.
And it
after 2 episodes.
It stars the guy.
No, it actually is.
These shows start off good. They give you 1 or 2 good episodes,
You're right.
And then they get shit all over themselves.
They didn't get shit on themselves.
I don't know.
Like, stop. All right, so Stacey's on the fence, but we got Jemani, we got Kim, Chris, any Chippendales for you?
All right. Sorry, what? I was muted. Sorry, I was muted. I was talking to my girl.
Does she want to watch?
I'll check. Oh my god.
I'll check it. How many episodes is it?
I don't know. We gotta check IMDb. It's only 2 now. We're gonna do it as a season. So probably 8 to 10.
Oh,
10. I'm sure.
Sure. I saw my homie from Eternals. He's in.
If it's more than 6,
that Indian dude. What's his name?
That dude. The Indian,
from Silicon Valley.
What's up?
Silicon Valley. Is that where he's from?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. That too. He's a comedian, really, and then he got buffed out from Eternals, and then he did this. Watch the film. Gallup and Deborah. I don't know. So you know what? Put it in the comments, and we will consider it. And we'll do it from there as we do other film lists. But anyway, we got more films coming to the point. We got more TV shows coming. That's the whole point. Thank you guys very much. We got Gangs of London next week. This week, so we got the next weekend.
Just one episode, the whole season.
What's up?
Just one episode.
It's one episode.
I said,
but I would say about half of us have seen it. So we really wait.
Stephanie, you seen the whole season too?
No.
Oh, see, they were trying to add to his army. He's trying.
See.
No, and actually, I was binge watching old episodes of West Wing today, so I guess I could have texted you to figure out how I could watch Gangs of London and binge watch that, but
if you got
it used to be my favorite show, and they've been showing it all weekend, so I got hooked to this one.
Well, I did like the one they did for the 2020 election one. Like they really did that one episode with Sterling K. Brown. I thought that was nice. That was nice.
Oh, that's cool.
He's a great actor. Huh?
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. It's like get out the vote. You gotta stop Trump. Some silly shit. But it was
cool.
It was cool, huh? It was like
they did all that.
Yeah.
I'll go look for it. I didn't see that. But it was my favorite TV show at the time, and then they've been showing it this weekend, so I was watching it.
Oh yeah, so I seen it. I watched for a few seasons. Anyway, love y'all. We'll see y'all in the chats and texts and stuff. KJ Beats, if you're watching, I heard you. We will do Power when Power comes. So sometime next year, and then you'll be back. But yeah, there you go. All right, so thank you guys. I appreciate Sits. Until next time.
All right, have a great week.
Later.